Hi, welcome to The Pursuit of Truth. It is the 29th of August 2018. I was watching a film a few days ago called Escape Plan 2 with Sylvester Stallone. It's not that good. Anyway, spoiler alert. I'll put that out there before I talk about it. And I don't know if it's because I'm aware of these things that I'm noticing them, or they're putting them more into the films, because recently there's I've mentioned two films where they've mentioned a roundabout way flat earth, and in this film it was quite loaded with it. And there's a picture of the globe and back of a guy, and he's talking about satellites, and he says something about, we still need to solve the problem of getting the signal round the curve. He actually uses those words, around the curve. I cracked up when I heard that. So I don't know, has it been in other things that, in years ago, that I didn't just notice and now noticing them, or they're just putting more of them in? And also the computer system that's controlling Hades, which is a underground sort of detention centre, is called Galileo. I mean, that can't be a coincidence, Galileo and the curve. There's another bit where things are going wrong in the base, and on the screen it says solar system failure, which is strange. It's almost like there was a coded message in there about the curve of the Earth, Galileo, solar system failure, the Hades, which obviously means hell, is that Greek mythology, I think, and it's in Atlanta. And not to sound a bit Peach-ish, obviously Atlanta sounds like Atlantis. I don't know whether it's got any connection or not. It's probably not no connection, but it just struck my mind. And the other thing, there was a scene at the end where Sylvester Stallone, he gets the baddie, and he sort of puts him on his back, and he pulls his arm around in front of him, and then there's this long shot, and it looked like Jesus when he's holding the cross, and then he breaks the cross when he breaks the guy's arm or back or whatever. So it just reminded me of when Jesus is dragging the cross, and I don't know if that symbolism was purposely done, or to say Sylvester Stallone is Jesus. I know that they do that a lot in movies, especially like with the arms outstretched and things, or sunlight behind the back or whatever. But yeah, there seemed to be a lot of symbolism in this movie. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is I was watching Subtle Infinity's 6th Instagram compilation on YouTube, and it was very moving as usual. A lot of horrific stuff in there that makes you very depressed when you watch it, to see how we treat each other. But there was one bit that made me think. It was lots of bits, but there's one particular thing that I wanted to talk about, which was to do with, there was these colonials, this British, when they found America, and they were speaking to I don't know what the best term to say, tribes, Red Indians, Cherokee. I'm not sure what the actual proper name for the indigenous people of America. I suppose that's the best term. And they were sort of saying it's their land, and the colonials were saying that they wanted to live there, and they were sort of making out that these indigenous people were backward, and that we're all humans and we all should share things. And I understand what the point was trying to make, because I know you do get some people that when the racism issue is mentioned about, when you talk about the history of how people got to where they are, like say with South Africa and the Afrikaans and the Dutch, and America with the British and the Europeans coming over and taking over their land, and now they believe that it's America, whereas it's stolen land. But so that some people, to get out of that, will say, we're all humans, so we all should share everything anyway. My problem is I share that view in the sense that, and this is why I wanted to clarify it, because I don't want people to think that I'm sort of using that sort of anti-racism view, my argument is, if you want to believe in the system that we live in, where, well, I suppose the problem is like, how far back do you go? But let's just say that we believe in the system as it is, in this system of where, people are allowed to take countries and call them their own. Then obviously the original owners are the original owners. If it was stolen, if they were killed, if they were poisoned, if they were raped, if they were murdered, like they were in America, then you can't then, say that you can't ignore that. And it's not, I know it's never going to be addressed, and America is always going to be America, and they're always going to be full of Americans, and Americans are going to call the people that are indigenous there as if they're foreigners, whereas the foreigners are the European Americans. But then if you look at it a different way, which is the way I look at it now, since listening actually to Subtle Infinity, is that there is no such thing as black and white and Asian and all that, because it's a divisive term that was made up to, differentiate us, so that people could look down upon other people and make out that they were, that some people are subhuman, and this kind of horrendous thing that to this day is still going on. So that's why I don't believe in colour anymore, and that's why, like with my twins, I refuse now to put, what race they are. They'll ask me, are they mixed, are they white, are they black African, I refuse now, I won't put it down anymore. And I noticed they didn't even bother to check the forms now, so it seems like they never checked in the first place. But I don't, that's their system, it's not my system. I don't class my children as mixed, as black, as white, as African, as English, as British, none of that. They're my children first of all, but they are human beings, or beings, because I have a problem with the word human as well, because I don't see us as very humane as a species. But whatever we are, we're all that same thing. And the name, obviously, human and being, there are made-up words that we made up thousands of years ago. So what our real name is, we don't really know, do we? But whatever we are all the same. There is no difference between, just because we're scattered out different places, or may look slightly different, or have different colours, or different ways of speaking, and all that kind of stuff that people use to differentiate us. We are actually all the same species. Same as, I don't need to explain that. Surely that's common sense. Although I suspect for a lot of people, they won't get their head around that. So my thinking is that if that is the case, and if we are all the same, that, and then this place that we're on, if you believe in God, then God created this place. I was going to say the earth, but the earth probably isn't the name of this place. Whatever this place is called, it was created for us all equally. I don't see a reason, I see it as man's selfishness that, and backwardness. Thousands of years ago, people moved, if we started from Africa or Iran, depending on which story is true, then we colonised different parts, and people decided, this is mine, because that's what humans are like. We want to box things, we want to claim things, we want to make them our own, and that's how countries and governments are formed. So I don't believe in all that stuff. That's a backward way of thinking. It's historic. It should be something that we rethink. No. So my understanding is that we're all one, and this place is all one, and it's all ours. It is nobody's. Nobody should have a claim of this, that and the other. You should be able to move around freely on this place. As if you believe in God, then I believe that's the true statement. If you don't believe in God, well, so you You want us to live in a prison where we have to have passports to go and move around. That's the system, the alternative choice. I don't like that kind of choice. I understand there has to be governance and stuff like that, but why shouldn't we be able to move around freely? Why should we have to pay money to move around freely? Why should we have to pay money for the resources that are freely here for every one of us? You know, this way of this country is yours, that country is mine, is very a selfish way of looking, a very small way of looking at things. So I don't say like, oh, it's all ours and it's everyone's in a racist term to try and deny people, you know, the pain or suffering or the stolen land that's been done to them, you know. But that's based on a system that I no longer believe in the sense that I want us to get past that. I want us to move on. Yes, you know, because otherwise we're always going to play this stupid monopoly game of this is yours, this is mine, and we're going to not work together. You know, why, you know, we stand behind a country, a flag, whereas we're all one species. Shouldn't we get behind that flag? I don't know, that's my thinking of it, so I just wanted to clarify that. And, well, there was something else I was thinking of, I can't remember now. Oh, well, whatever it is, I'm sure I'll think of it and make another podcast. That's it for now. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.